So, today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about our diet. Now, you know that I focus on health and nutrition and wellness and the energetics of all of those combined. There is something to be said for looking at diet as a way of living, a way of really having a relationship with the food that's coming in and what we do with it and how we use it. So I've often read about all sorts of different kinds of diets. You've got the macrobiotic diet, you have Atkins diet, Paleolithic, keto, plant-based and vegan and vegetarian and flexitarian. And that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm really talking about today is what we bring in to ourselves as information. You see, we don't only feed ourselves food, carrots and beans and Brussels sprouts, that's if you're vegan and vegetarian, or steak and potatoes. We don't just feed ourselves food. We also feed ourselves meaning, emotional states of being, relationships with other people, our work and what it does for us or doesn't do for us. Our relationship with finances and money, the energetics of money. All of that are things that come into us as information, and we digest them in whatever way we will. We get to choose. We also get to choose not necessarily the circumstances of our life, but what we do with them. So today, I want to broaden the idea of diet. What diet are we feeding our bodies, and what diet are we feeding our mind and our energetic system? You see, the one that's the utmost important, the primary, is not the one that we put in our mouths. Instead, it's what we allow to come into our heads, into our minds, into our nervous system, and then what we decide to do with it. So what that means is our primary food is really what we decide to think, what we make meaning of about the things that are happening around us. And that has a huge impact on what we feed our bodies. Diet. It's not just what we put in our mouth. Food is not just what we put in our mouth. The primary food that we feed ourselves with is what we decide to think about who we are in this vast universe. Some of us think we're tiny little beings with no meaning, and others look a little bit differently at how things are. That we are living in a sea, a field of energy, and we are not separate from that energy. We are actually part of it. And being part of it means that we have some co-creation powers. We can decide for a different tomorrow. So, what is your primary food? What are you feeding your singular mind and the mind of the field? Primary food, not what we put in our mouths, but what we digest and what we do with what is here. So my action call for you today is to take stock, make a list of the things that you think are in your primary food, your relationships, the quality of those, your finances, and how you relate to money. Does your work feed you? Do you have a sense that there's some meaning here, a spiritual connection to something greater than a singular human life? And all the other things that go into that: health, fitness, enjoyment, travel, learning, education, primary food. Take stock of your primary food. And if you find that you're lacking in some good vitamins in your primary food, then let's make a decision about how to change that. I'm Dr. Margaret Evanow, the world's premier quantum psychologist, and today I want you to think about your primary food.